"You're blocking a heart transplant," the EMT screamed, slamming the side of the ambulance as steam rose from the hood. Red lights strobed across the quiet cul-de-sac, sirens howling, but the white SUV parked sideways across the fire lane didn't budge. Standing beside it in pink wedges and a massive sun hat, sipping an iced latte like nothing was wrong, stood Deborah Langford, the HOA president of Windy Heights. "This is a fire lane, not an ambulance lane," she said coolly, "and I'm authorized to oversee all community activity here." Inside the ambulance, the organ monitor beeped. Low temperature. The sound sent a chill through the paramedics. In that cooler was a heart packed in melting ice, meant for 9-year-old Natalie Quinn, already being prepped in the OR. Every second of delay was another chance for that heart to become useless. And Deborah knew it. This wasn't the first time she'd pulled something like this, but it was the first time someone's life hung in the balance. Earlier that morning, Natalie's mother, Rachel, had stood trembling in the hospital waiting room as her daughter was wheeled away. The transplant match had come in at 2 a.m. After a fatal crash across the state, a tragedy for one family, hope for hers. The ambulance had to move fast. Coordination between 3 counties had worked flawlessly until they hit Windy Heights. The fire department had cleared a shortcut route for emergencies. But when the EMTs turned the corner near the clubhouse, they found Deborah's SUV deliberately blocking the emergency access lane. No hazards, no cones, just arrogance. Clipboard in hand, she faced down the EMTs like she owned the world. "Ma'am," one of them yelled, "this is a critical transport. There's a heart in this vehicle. Move your car." Deborah lowered her shades and waved a laminated HOA document. "This lane is reserved for scheduled landscaping. You're not on the approved list." The driver radioed dispatch. "Civilian obstruction. No alternate route. Fire support ETA is 8 minutes. Organ viability at risk." Nearby, Priya Desai, a med student home on spring break, saw the flashing lights and jogged over. She recognized the ambulance service instantly. Her cousin was assisting in the surgery at County Pediatric. When she spotted the organ transport label, her stomach dropped. "Is this for a transplant at County?" she asked. A paramedic nodded. 9-year-old girl. "It's red flag urgent." Priya called her cousin instantly. "They're stuck," she said. "It's Deborah." "Yes, that Deborah." Inside the hospital, the transplant team halted the anesthesia. The chief surgeon muttered curses under his breath. If they lost the heart, the girl had no second option. Back at the gate, a delivery truck driver offered to nudge Deborah's car with his bumper. "Just back her up 10 feet, he told the EMTs. "She ain't moving otherwise." Before he could, the fire chief arrived, furious. "You again?" he barked at Deborah. "Move it, or we'll tow it with you inside." She stood her ground. So the chief gave the order. Over the curb. Now. The ambulance jolted onto the sidewalk, cracking decorative pavers, swerving around the SUV as Deborah screamed. "That's HOA property." But the EMTs were already gone, radioing ahead. 2 minutes to ER. The fire chief turned to Deborah. "You blocked a heart transplant ambulance. You could have killed a kid." "I have community immunity," Deborah sniffed. "I control access for safety." "No," he replied. "You're under arrest." Handcuffs clicked around her wrists as she shrieked about suing the fire department. A neighbor caught it on video. The moment went viral within hours. Deborah sipping a latte as EMTs begged her to move. At the hospital, Rachel clutched Natalie's bunny as the ambulance arrived. The heart was rushed inside borderline temperature, nearly unsalvageable. The surgeon didn't speak, just nodded, inspected it, and got to work. Rachel sat frozen. Time didn't move. No one said anything. But minutes later, the nurse returned. Surgery had started. There was hope. Back in Windy Heights, Deborah sat handcuffed in a squad car while neighbors gathered in disbelief. "Third emergency she's blocked this month," one man muttered. "Last week it was a fire truck." "She had the fire lane repainted beige," another said. Said red was too aggressive. Priya stood beside her father, Anil, a long silent board member. "She's not just a bad president," she said. "She's dangerous." Together, they drafted a petition for an emergency HOA assembly. Stories flooded in. Deborah had fined a disabled veteran over his ramp, blocked a plumber during a sewage backup, banned Christmas lights, and billed residents for boulder polishing by her nephew's unlicensed company. The town hall that night was packed. Deborah arrived late, hiding behind sunglasses and a silk coat. Anil stood. Public comment first. Then evidence. Then we vote. Residents took the mic one by one. A woman described her toddler's seizure delayed by gate clearance. A teen spoke about being berated for his poor-looking car. Then Priya placed a folder on the table. Invoice, $12,000 for decorative rock washing. Company run by Deborah's cousin. No license on file. Screenshot, threat to a board member. Audio, if people get sick, they should move. The room gasped. Then the final video played Deborah directing a delivery driver away from a home with a disability placard. Don't deliver there. That family's on thin ice. The vote was unanimous. Deborah was suspended immediately. Her authority stripped. Finances frozen. An oversight committee formed. Priya's father was appointed interim president. Deborah screamed, "You people are ungrateful. I built this place." A man near the back shouted, "We'll take chaos over a tyrant." She stormed out, knocking over a chair. Outside, she was served with a civil suit by Natalie's family and the hospital. At the trial, the Judhaya woman Deborah once fined for garden gnomes glared at her. "You're lucky that Hart made it. Otherwise, we'd be talking about negligent homicide." Bail denied. 2-year sentence. Mandatory service at the hospital, she nearly doomed. Back in Windy Heights, the community transformed. HOA finances were audited. Rules were rewritten. The fire lane repainted bold red. Cameras installed. Transparency returned. And on the clubhouse wall, residents painted a mural, a heart with wings, and beneath it, "Every second counts." Natalie's handprint was placed below. Priya declined a board seat. "Med school's calling," she said with a smile. But she knew something had changed. Not just the leadership, not just the paint. The soul of the neighborhood had returned. And somewhere in the pediatric ward, a little girl's heart kept beating. A second chance for her and for them all.